Welcome back. Good Friday morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and I hope you're having a great morning. It is Friday, May 15th. It is 7 a.m. on the button on the East Coast, and we kick the hour off with the hot topic of the hour. Get this, New York Governor Kathy Hochul is revealing updated details of her newly envisioned Pied-à-Terre tax with City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. She's lowering the threshold. She says now second homes or condos or co-ops worth $1 million could face the new levy, a Pied-à-Terre tax. That is down from the initial vision of $5 million homes. So more people will be impacted. If you have a home that's worth $1 million, you're going to pay up. I spoke with former NYPD Chief of Department John Chell on this program Wednesday, and he had a thing or two to say about Mayor Mamdani's massive budget proposal. Watch.
The budget is nothing more than a three-card Mamdani, okay? It's a bailout by the governor because she needs his base for her election. This budget kicks costs down the road. Even the tax on the wealthy for the second homes, he says $500 million. Our own controller says we're 380. That's 120 million short. So it's nothing but gimmicks. It's kicking the can down the road. We're going to have to pay for it. And the $400 billion bailout from the governor, that money wasn't free. That money could have been earmarked for you name it, police, technology, children, whatever you want to call it. This is not free. This is a gimmick budget, and we're going to be paying for it next year. We can't sustain this.
Oh, they're going to be paying up in New York, Cheryl. Okay, so let's go through this because Kathy Hochul's now saying, no, you're going to face a pied-à-terre tax on any second home you have that's valued at $1 million, not $5 million, $1 million. Now, what does she say next? She says the number of people that will be impacted, get this, ready for this? She says it's only 8,000 to 10,000 people. 8,000 people have second homes in New York? I find that hard to believe. So I'm looking for the best estimate in terms of how many people have second homes, and I come up with several hundred thousand have second homes.
Yes.
So how is it possible that only 8,000 people are going to get impacted by this pied-à-terre tax, and yet several hundred thousand second homes are right now in New York? And something tells me that most of them are going to be valued up there in $1 million, if you're talking about the high prices in New York, Cheryl.
Well, what this is going to do, if it goes through, and that's a big if, and I'll get to that in a second, is it would actually it would devalue the properties in the city. I thought that was their plan all along from Zohran Mamdani and this socialist communist group. I believe that they want to see all of the value, the property values in New York devalue. Government takes over more buildings. He gets that affordability message. This is how he achieves it. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'll tell you why. Because Hochul blindsided Albany and the state legislators. I mean, by the way, they have to approve this as well. This isn't just her saying, this is going to happen. They have to go along, and many of them are starting to come out on social media today and saying absolutely not. Assessed market value on the properties. That's what I'm talking about. That you devalue the properties because all of a sudden you're going to see assessed market values go lower because all these people that own these buildings are going to try and get away from the tax. The other thing I want to tell you, there's a report out that Zohran Mamdani actually reached out to Ken Griffin. And we don't know what that conversation was. But this is Kathy Hochul, who is making yet another concession to Zohran Mamdani because she needs his voting base, and she's up for re-election, just like John told you, Maria, exactly what John said yesterday.
Which is exactly why anything she says she's against with Zohran Mamdani, I am not buying, Chris, because what's going to happen is she's going to go into November trying to say, well, we don't want to lose the high earners in New York, so maybe I'm not all on board on everything. After November, I think she goes right along with him. And by the way, New York is one of the top 5 states for second homes. And I also have this estimate from national housing analysts who say there are roughly 6.2 million second homes across the country. 6.2 million. So many more people are going to get impacted if they bring this tax to $1 million homes versus $5 million homes. And that is why you're going to continue to see a flight out of New York. Wealth is leaving in a hurry, Chris.
Yeah, and this is becoming just the new normal with the Democratic Party, where they realize that their base 100% believes the sort of Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders narrative about wealth, that they want to take the wealth from those rich people because they argue that it is somehow less productive or less efficient to solve problems than in the private sector owned by these wealthy people. And with $1 million home, that is not that much. We are not talking about cracking down on the ultra wealthy. You're talking about upper middle class folks who have a second home. And so the narrative needs to change, that Democrats are not just going after the rich. They're going after everybody, and they're not just going to stop in New York. It's going to come more and more because they believe that basically every person over a certain income level, which is always conveniently just slightly richer than they are, is just basically Scrooge McDuck with a tub of gold coins that they're diving into.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I, Cheryl, you say you don't think it's going to happen. I'm on the other side of that trade. Well, I think it is going to happen. I think New York is going to continue to get more expensive, and they're going to implement these policies as much as they can. Don't forget, they have a $12 billion budget deficit that they have. They have a $12 billion hole that they have to fill. They got to go under every rock to find money for that. And that's just this fiscal year, 2026. Zoran Mamdani claims he inherited it. But this is also affecting public safety. Here's John Chell on public safety. Watch this.
1% of the taxpayers, and say pay about 45% of the tax. So when one leaves, it hurts. It takes away what he just mentioned, the revenue stream. They got 1% pay 45%. Every time we lose one of them, revenue stops, and it affects services in the city. Let's say public safety. If you can't be safe, you don't have a city. So this is a cascading effect, and we can have all TikTok videos and word salad, and the socialists today are doing somersaults that he balanced the budget. No, Mayor Hochul balanced the budget because she bailed us out.
So that is why John Chell is running for mayor. He wants to be in that race in 2029. But look, they're not going to have enough money for cops, Cheryl. They're not going to have enough money for garbage collection. They're going to have money for anything because the wealthy are leaving.
In this budget, by the way, Maria, they're also targeting overtime. They want a reduction in overtime in the mayor's budget. That's the NYPD, Maria, because we already know that he doesn't want to hire any more police. He stopped a whole new class going through. He doesn't want to hire them. I mean, this is the defund the police, Mayor Mamdani. The other thing, really quick, I want to say about the budget is the other thing is that the stark reality came out from Mark Levine, who's the comptroller of New York City. He said this isn't going to raise the original Pied-à-Terre tax proposal. That's not going to raise $500 million, maybe $350 million. And there's a 7% interest that Mamdani's facing because he's going after the pension. I'll leave it there. But there's a lot to go through in this budget, and it's not good.
There sure is. And let me tell you something else. If the Republicans lose the majority in the midterm elections, they're going to try to overturn President Trump's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. They're going to try to do what they can just in New York to ignore the federal rule of no tax on all of those things. It's a mess. We're going to keep a spotlight on it. We're just getting started this hour.